Perception involves sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, all the senses. It's a brain process. It's an influenced energy by experience. It's a sensory process, I could say. It shapes the understanding of reality. And perception can also be, say, as basic of cognition and action. Perception will alter depending the emotions, the age, the style of energy where one is, and it varies. It varies among different, I would say, species, if possible. It develops, it refines due to maturity. We were speaking of maturity earlier. So it is a fundamental cognitive process through which we can make sense of the world around us. It involves our senses. In the gathering, I will say, like we speak of walking on the street, gathering information from the environment. If you take two children of, let's say, 5 years old, one in this house, one in another house where lifestyle is very different, you'll get two different perceptions because the environment constructs the perception of reality, which means that perception will bridge the gap between the external surrounding and the internal interpretation of what we've seen outside. And of course, it's influence our bringing, naturally. And we all know that the brain is remarkably adept at filtering, organizing, creating what fits us, ignoring irrelevant matters. In our modern language, we could also say the amount of data that bombards the senses at any given moment will change our perception. Like ourselves. Last year, we will not be speaking of AI the way we speak of AI today. So our perception change. One thing I've noticed in all these years of teaching is perception doesn't exist in isolation. It shapes the understanding of the environment, of the reality around. I recall when my children were 2 years old, start to walk around and teach them what is hot, what is cold. It all has to do with their sensory system and their perception of their emotions. The development of perception is a very, very complex process that will evolve through times. While they are evolving or being educated and their growth, their perception become more and more, I will say, sophisticated, enabling them to recognize this, that. They navigate through the world with the perception from what they were educated, and then which will change. There will be nuance of interaction in the world due to their perception. The more aware you become, the more your perception shift. Your perception will shift when you watch somebody make decisions. They will make decisions depending their perception of their education. And I can see that many of the young youth who come to me, their perception is erroné. So a development is to be there from my side to take them to a higher consciousness.